Welcome to Dirt Diaries, the podcast where the women of agriculture get real. From muddy boots to boardrooms, we're digging into the unfiltered stories of the FarmHers, ranchers, and every her shaping the future of ag. This isn't just shop talk, it's real talk. We're covering career paths, big wins, hard lessons, and everything in between. So whether you live it every day or you're just ag curious, pop in your earbuds and get ready. These are the raw, inspiring, and wildly relatable conversations you won't hear anywhere else. Let's dig in. Hey everyone, welcome back to Dirt Diaries. Today, we're sitting down with a woman who has helped shape one of the most recognizable brands in the Western industry. Erin DeLong is the marketing manager for Durango Boots, where she spent more than a decade helping grow the brand, building meaningful partnerships, and telling the stories that connect Western lifestyles to consumers around the world. From her roots in agriculture and 4-H to leading marketing campaigns, Erin shares what it's like to be behind the scenes of one of the industry's biggest brands. We talk about career growth, staying loyal to a company in a world that often encourages job hopping, the power of storytelling and marketing, Western culture's mainstream rise, and the faith, family, and values that continue to guide Erin's journey. Plus, you'll definitely want to stick around for some hilarious Dirt Diaries games where we learn about Erin's love for laminating and the sandwich we think she should pitch to Subway. So grab a coffee and let's get dirty with Erin. The one and only Erin DeLong is joining me. And Erin, I'm sure most of our viewers are very familiar with you, your background and where you're at today. But for those who aren't, give us a little overview about who you are and how you got started kind of in this Western space.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Kirbe, for having me on. I love that the theme, I didn't even plan this, but my shirt matches the color of your mic, which is super fun.
Yeah. Good job.
For those that may not know who I am, I'm Erin DeLong. I'm the marketing manager for the national Western footwear brand Durango Boots, which is a couple pairs are behind me. I have actually been in this role 12 years. So I have seen the evolution or revolution of the Durango brand over that time, which has been very exciting. My role includes really overseeing all of the marketing aspects for the brand, whether that be traditional, whether that be social, or from a digital perspective. So we have a great team in-house that I work with, but overall from a brand voice and persona and direction will come from myself and our team, which has been a really fun ride. So a little bit of my backstory, though, I actually started with the company, not working for Durango in the marketing. I actually started in sales. So I got my feet wet there, which has been really exciting, selling the product. And then flip the script a little bit. I have a marketing degree and background in college. And so the door opportunity opened and God provided a way, and I was able to get into this role. So it's been a really fun ride. But growing up, actually, I didn't come from the Western background. So I came from a 4-H agricultural, type of background with my family. My dad's side of the family farms here in Ohio, where we're actually headquartered here in Ohio. Fun fact for those that may not know. And so growing up, I got a little bit of that perspective. But going into this role was a little newer for me on the Western space. But Kirbe, I've loved it. There's some salt-of-the-earth people in this industry and some really good folks that you get the opportunity to work with. So I count myself very lucky and very blessed to where I am now, and getting to propel this brand forward has been even more exciting. So I'm excited what the future holds.
Yeah, most definitely. And you've worked really hard, obviously, to be where you're at today. And I want to talk about that a little bit later on. There's so many different directions I want to go with this, but I think I actually want to just start off with so many people think, depending on your age, especially like, oh, you need to jump around with jobs or you need to do XYZ to climb the ladder. What are your thoughts on that? Because you've been pretty loyal, obviously. I shouldn't say pretty. You have been loyal to a company and you've been able to see your growth and development over the years, especially just within one company. Can you speak to that some more?
Yeah, absolutely. So I count myself blessed for that for sure. Because again, I have some counterparts from college that have jumped around over the last 10 plus years with a different job. And Kirbe, in my role, every day is different, and that's what I love. And when you're kind of a piece of the pie or the puzzle that makes something work, you feel valued and empowered to do that. And so that's been a little piece of what I've done with Durango, and I've got to see kind of the fruits of that labor.
Yeah.
And I think it's when you are valued as an employee and empowered to actually bring forth new ideas or new perspectives, I think that's when people kind of hold on and retain their position in a company. And so I never want to say, don't necessarily job hop. If there's an opportunity out there that makes you better, by all means, chase it, go after it. You want to vertically grow. But for me, I've been able to kind of spread my wings here and evolve my knowledge within the business side and corporate side, which I've really loved. And then also from a brand perspective and how, as you know, things change rapidly, especially in marketing. What you did yesterday now changes for tomorrow. And so that's been something that I really love, and it challenges me every single day. And so for myself, you never know what the future holds, but it's something that I've really hung my hat on, and I've been really proud of all of the accomplishments our brand has done in the last 10 plus years.
Yeah, and definitely just like the different pathways and like the involvement that you've been able to grow as an individual, but grow as, someone within a company the way you have, I think is just, it speaks volumes, obviously, not only to you personally, but to you professionally. And I think that's neat that you are at a company that also recognizes that and cultivates that and wants you to grow within the company, because there's not a lot of companies that do that, and some do, but it's just really nice that Durango recognizes just such an asset that you are and the value that you bring to the table, and they want to, capitalize on that. For people who don't know a lot about Durango Boots, share a little bit about their story with us.
Yes. So we actually turned 60 this year.
Wow.
So it's kind of a fun little birthday milestone for the brand. So a little backstory really quick on our company as a whole. So we are under the parent company, Rocky Brands. So we're one of 5 children. I kind of think of us as the Brady Bunch. So Durango is the Western brand and team that I work for, but our counterparts are Rocky Boots, we own Georgia Boots, we own Muck Boots, and we own Extra Tough. So we are kind of one of 5 in the family, but predominantly we are focused all on the Western segment in that kind of route. But we manufacture product for men, women, and children. And as I mentioned a few minutes ago, we're headquartered in Ohio, which some people think we're maybe Durango, Colorado, or you're in Texas. We're in Ohio, which is where our parent company is established. So we operate out of this corporate office location. But again, we have field reps coast to coast. We are an international brand that we ship and we provide to customers abroad, which has been exciting. But for the brand itself, we're not just kind of Western. We have the fashion, we have the exotics, we have the work Western, we have the kids that match mom and dad. So I kind of say we get to play in a lot of fun sandboxes, which is nice. And we have a really strong brand portfolio and variety. The tagline Kirbe that we utilize in marketing when we are talking about the brand is made for what you do. So no matter what your occupation may be, whatever your job or your lifestyle, the product that we market and create is made for what you're going to do. And so we stand behind that, and that's kind of something that we hang our hats on very proudly, to know that we are going to be a part of your lifestyle, no matter what that may be, and be a comfortable boot that you're going to wear for days on end, or hopefully years to come.
Well, marrying the two too, of just like you not coming from the Western space, like you said, but you came from the agriculture and livestock industries. You understand what that environment and that industry entails. And I do think that the Western industry and the ag space, they kind of go hand in hand sometimes, obviously different, practices and some methods of different things. But for the most part, I mean, the people are very similar, as we know. Was there any challenges that you faced when you were stepping into like the Western ring and doing this job and understanding like, whoa, okay, maybe I need to adjust a little bit to understand this marketplace and this space?
Absolutely. And I can attest, gosh, when I first started back in like 2015 in this role to where we are now, I mean, it's like leaps and bounds, completely different. But, not coming from that core rodeo Western background, I mean, there's a lot of learning curves that you have to kind of go through. And thankfully, we have an incredible sales territory rep team, and a couple of them, kind of took me under their wing and helped guide me a little bit more on, in this industry, especially in the Western sports segment. As we began to hire and sign different athletes, or we started to pivot and position our brand more into that limelight, if you will, understanding that a little bit, or the behaviors of how some consumers buy products and the loyalty. And that's something I love about this industry, is a lot of these individuals are so loyal to brands that they stay with for their livelihood. because their grandpa or their father or their uncle or brother wore the brand that they're going to as well. And so that's something I think that's been really refreshing, and that they're here for the long haul with you. So there have been things like that, or on photo shoots, kind of the small nuances on photos that work and that don't work. And I know that sounds kind of silly to some people maybe listening, but details matter in marketing, and especially in imagery, and to represent the brand correctly and articulating all of that within the Western sports segment is something that's very important as well. So I learned that, you go through trials and whatnot. So those have been some learning curves that now I know moving forward in this position.
Has there been any marketing campaigns or maybe didn't even get to that stage yet that you were like, this is going to be great, this is going to be great, and then it's just a flop?
Short answer, yes, Kirby. And I probably need to go back. I try to, if we fail fast and move on. But
I like that. I like that saying.
You have to learn from your failures to also not repeat that as well. And so nothing necessarily comes to mind. I think there's things that you have high hopes for that it just performs kind of But I will say something over the last few years that our team has really tried to do intentionally is tell our rodeo athlete stories. Okay. So I'm kind of stealing a little bit of our thunder in a few minutes talking about the rodeo athletes that we sponsor. But what I have seen is when you have folks not necessarily on the payroll talking about the brand, people pay attention. And so I could talk all day about how awesome that they are, and I mean that authentically and genuinely, but when we actually have folks that live the lifestyle, are wearing the product, from a hard perspective, or they don't own tennis shoes and they only own boots, that's where I think kind of the rubber meets the road and people are like, okay, there's something here I need to listen to. So I say all of that. We've done some campaigns where our athletes take the lead in the driver's seat, and we're talking more about their livelihood, more maybe about the things that they've endured from a hardship perspective or a setback that's now their comeback, and interweaving Durango being a part of that. That's one thing actually, just on the flip side, that, I wasn't sure how it was going to do, and it actually did really well. And so we're birthing more of those, athlete stories. As you know, from a documentary standpoint, people love to follow people that they love. And so as we found that more and more, we're trying to lean into that and tell their stories through the lens of Durango without being too salesy. Because people, again, they're privy nowadays, that's a sales pitch, versus you're actually being very raw and real and maybe showing something that the end consumer would not see on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, and do you ever have people that obviously you have some very notable athletes that wear your guys' boots and really support the brand. Do you have people that are like, we just have to have that boot because of, this athlete wears that boot?
Yeah, no, I love that you said that. Yes, so Lisa Lockhart, which is in her own lane. She's just amazing, and a individual person just by herself is just phenomenal. In particular, when we signed her, one, the team was just floored and so excited. But two, we were able to leverage her geographical area where, the South Dakota is where she's from. Mm-hmm. And so we leveraged that with a lot of stores saying, here's our roster. Here's Lisa Lockhart, who's known worldwide, but yet in this kind of pocket of the United States. And accounts actually paid attention to that, knowing that, for example, our Lady Rebel Pro is the collection she's wearing, and that they were buying into because of that. So you're spot on, and yes, the credibility is there. And because of, Paul Eves or Riley Webb is wearing this, we want to wear what he's wearing. That may bring you some good luck. You never know.
Yeah, definitely. I know, again, I'm sure I forget when we're launching this episode, but the American, let's talk about that, because you guys have had a good partnership with the American over the years. You guys are probably going to be really busy, I'm assuming, coming up with everything that's happening in the next week or two. Again, not sure when this one's going to air, so it might have been in the past now when we were talking about this, but talk about the American, talk about that partnership, and then other, events that you guys partner with on, and just really kind of the mindset and the focal point around that.
Yes. Well, event marketing, I think, is crucial, and that kind of falls a little more into my position with Durango on the event side of things and sponsorships. But the American, actually, Kirby, gosh, back in 2019, I think it was before COVID, BC.
Okay.
Was our first year when we actually were the presenting sponsor of the American, when RFD-TV had it. And so we had that for a few years. And I think that really propelled our brand in front of the eyeballs of some folks, like, whoa, Durango's coming in hot and heavy. our team was now getting signed and we were getting more athletes. So for us, that was amazing. And so, we're still involved. We actually had 3 athletes on our roster last year that walked away as American Rodeo champions: Shane Hanchey, Will Loomis, and Josie Connor. Hopefully we get that and more this time around at the American. But yes, our team will be there as well. And then kind of shifting gears to the other big kind of carrot, if you will, for us is at the end of the year, NFR.
Yeah.
So Durango is the official boot of the National Finals Rodeo. We have been 3 or 4 years now. And that's something we're very proud of and very excited to continue that momentum with the PRCA and Pro Rodeo team. Again, having our booth space there to sell our product, to show what's doing the best in the brand, or to unveil some fun new things. That's where we like to kind of
Oh, love that.
show some teasers there, what's to come. And then again, supporting our incredible athletes that are competing every night in Vegas.
Yeah. Do you, your schedule, I feel like, is probably pretty crazy. I mean, whether you're on Zoom calls or phone calls or on the road, do you ever have pinch me moments when you're like, whoa, this is my job. Like, I get to do this. I get to be in this space. I get to meet, just such an array of people. I mean, is there ever a moment where you're like, wait, this is really cool what I do?
Yeah. And you kind of sit back and count your blessings like, wow, God has like provided so many cool opportunities for myself and others in our roles, as you know, Kirby, and there's some amazing things that you get to do as well. And I think there are times where you kind of like, at the moment you're in it and you're moving kind of quick, and then once it kind of dust settles and you sit back and you think, did that just happen? Or like, wow, we did that. Something maybe you worked for a really long time. And people don't realize behind the scenes the 23 hours of work really that you're putting forth, like the bandwidth or the lack thereof work-life balance, because you're so devoted to your job and your role. And then when you finally see the fruits of your labor and you're like, wow, we finally did it. And it was a team effort. That's what's really neat. And yeah, for me, like there have been some times that I've just kind of been like, oh my gosh, like we got the opportunity. This has been years ago. We did a media tour. And so we would actually go Kirby and take boot bags in Times Square in New York. We were the only people in Western Boots. We had this like body bag, big black bag, and we would go really to office to all of our media partners, and we would show them the new product. And so it was a really great, we called it a media tour, and we went to Vogue, we went to Footwear Plus.
Wait, that is so cool.
Yeah, we did. And I mean, but we're carrying around these body bags of boots all around, Times Square, and like the naked cowboy was the only one wearing Western boots with us. It was so funny. People were like looking in New York, right? But I remember we actually went to Fox and Friends, and we were able to talk to them, and we sat on the white couch where Ainsley sits and the other news anchors, and I kind of like sit there, I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is our job, what we get to do. And there was another time we partnered with the Grand Ole Opry, which
so fun.
A little change from the Western space that made country music famous in Nashville. And it's been cool to see some of our athletes kind of go actually on stage, and they're marrying both of those worlds. But one of the opportunities, we were there, and I got to push the button to raise the Opry curtain. And like Dale Earnhardt Jr. was the last person to do
fun.
Like, and I don't mean to gloat. This is by all means.
No, not gloating at all. Well, okay. I want you should be proud of like, off of that hard work. Like you get to do these cool things because like you worked hard to get to where you're at. Right.
Yeah.
So that is fun. It's not gloating. It's cool.
Yeah, it is. It's when you kind of like sit back and kind of like marinate on it, then you're like, whoa, you kind of jot those down, those little home run wins.
Yeah. Well, off of that, I'm sure you have a lot of people that reach out to you for career advice, and they want to know, I want to be in a role like you one day, or what does that look like? How did you get started? What do I do? What is some of the advice you've given people, or anybody listening to, what is advice you would give them today?
That's a great question. I pray a lot, and I'll be honest. I mean, I'm a firm believer that God puts you in places that you need to be at the right time. Like when the time is right, the Lord will make it happen. Like Isaiah 60:22, and that's a verse that I kind of cling on to because I'm an instant gratificationer. Like I want everything tomorrow, and it takes time for good things to happen. And I have to realize that like a diamond doesn't occur overnight. It takes pressure to make a diamond. So sometimes you're going to be pressured in a good way and challenged to grow. But I would say for those that are looking for solid career advice, stay true to who you are. Don't necessarily try to change to fit the mold. There's a reason that you are the way you are and you have talents to offer, and make sure that you're valued. There are times, maybe sometimes people do job hop intentionally because they're not feeling like we talked a couple minutes ago about being valued or utilizing their talents for what they may have to provide to a company. But I'd also say, surround yourself with people that are better than you. And that's going to
I
come
love that.
across probably poor, and I don't mean it for it, but it's like
No.
I want someone who you're a little maybe more intelligent in this area than I am, or a little bit better skill set. But guess what? Iron sharpens iron, and those people are going to rub off on you.
Yeah.
And eventually, you're going to start to rise to that occasion. You want people to surround you that are going to empower and lift you up, and not, push you down at all. So I think career-wise, look for a role model or someone that I not idolize, but I really admire you. And sit one-on-one, have those coffee, meets or whatever, and just chat real and raw. Failures are going to happen, doors are
Yep.
going to close. But I will say, and Carly Peterson said this on, I think, a podcast with Jesse Jarvis on Of the West, and she said no, and I'm going to quote her because I love this. She said no just means new opportunity, and I
Yep.
love that because a lot of times we hear no and we're like, oh, door shut in my face, now my life is over, kind of thing, and it's not, because you're just going to be pivoted to something better down the road. And if you have the opportunity to be in a position, own it and do your best, give your best and give your all. I think a lot of times some people just kind of do a halfway job at times, and
Yeah.
we're not called to do that. Like if your name is on something, do it to the best of your ability that you can. So those are kind of nuances and little nuggets that I've over the last 12, 13 years have kind of picked up and learned the hard way, because experience is your best teacher.
Yep. Mhm.
It
I
happens.
love I love all that. And especially too, off of like something you said, I always love, when people say, if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to walk into a new room, because we should constantly be learning from other people, right? And you should constantly be evolving in whatever areas, whether it's personal or professional. So that's great tidbits that you gave, because I think anybody that's listening, whether young or old, there's something to be taken away from that, whether you're looking for, growth in a professional space, but just in a personal space too, like you are who you surround yourself with. You are like what you read every day, what the intake that we have, whether it's social media, whatever. We absorb so much as human beings. And so I think there was nothing better than saying you pray a lot, because what a powerful tool sometimes to just get on your knees, right? And pray and like be like, hey, God, where do you want me to be today? Like, where do you want me to be in 5 minutes? Where do you want me to be in 5 years? And I really respect, admire, and appreciate that, especially when people are called to even share that, because I think that's just such a powerful thing. And so thank you for doing that. Going back a little bit to the cowboy thing, cowboy's cool. It's been cool. I know we talked about 2019, your partnership with the American, but like since COVID, everybody, wants to be out on a ranch. I think it's fun, it's exciting, and it's not going anywhere. So how's that changed for you guys as a boot company? And what have you guys seen in, the landscape of the Western world, of how many people are just so invested in it now?
They are, and I think thanks to, I think a lot of people give credit to Taylor Sheridan just due to the Yellowstone landscape, or setting that foundation. Lainey, over the last 5 to 7 years of her really big, I think, influence within the Western space, crossing over, within the core country market. That's really, I think, for us propelled. You get people, first time boot buyers, or first time people that would ever want to wear a hat or a belt buckle or a pair of Wranglers or a pair of hopefully Durangos. So we've kind of seen that residual as well, where folks are coming to us as a first time consumer, maybe doesn't know how to outfit
Yeah.
necessarily, or what to wear, or how do I style all of this. So that's been something that we've certainly seen, just from the cinematic standpoint to the country music way. And then also kind of from COVID, Kirby, and I'll kind of flip the switch a little bit. Our Work Western division, we have a huge Hispanic following. They love our brand, which has been amazing. But the Work Western has just completely skyrocketed. Again, from COVID, you're getting individuals that are wearing their boots a lot more in these high impact work environments, due to their lifestyle and whatever occupation they have. But also we're seeing them, like, and our boots last a long while if you wear them, but someone who wears their boots 15 hours a day, 7 days a week, they're going to need a new pair probably in 9 months, right? So we've also seen that and that turn, which has been really nice for us. But again, I think cowboy and being country is cool. Like country's cool again. Like, I'm
Yeah.
taking it from Lainey, and we're seeing that, and that's been really great. And for us, as we evolve product and as we're looking at trends, our product team does a great job of looking what's the next 3 years look like, if you can, to really get ahead of that game. And that's something for us that, things are being birthed now that I think are going to be hitting when things are hot. And hopefully for the next, decades to come, people are still loving the Western way of life. And for those on the call that I'm sure do know this or don't, like, if you've not been to a rodeo, if you've not had the opportunity to be around cowboys and cowgirls, you're missing out, because they're just amazing people. They have their priorities right, that they pray before the rodeo. They love their country and they love their family. And it's just, that's a little part of the world that I think the rest of the world would benefit to know a little bit more about.
Yeah, I mean, the values, the morals, just the mindset. It's actually pretty inspiring. I think when we get around a lot of these individuals that are in our industry, you're like, whoa, like what a great outlook on life. Like what a great foundation that they have, and just the mindset and the wherewithal to just keep moving forward. But like, trust the man upstairs, love the people around you, and give back more than you're given. And I think that's something that's just so incredible about this industry. I want to play some games with you. We're doing good on time, but a little more about you. So we have these fun games that we play here on Dirt Diaries. Some of them are, a little interesting. Some are normal, but we'll just start with the normal casual one. This is Break the Ice. So I'm going to ask you some random questions and you can give me like the top of your mind answers. Starting off with this one, do you have a guilty pleasure?
Oh, my guilty pleasure. Yes. Now you're going to ask me probably what that would be. Oh my gosh. Lord have mercy. You know what, Kirby? I'm not good at like on the spot.
I know it's a hard, right? It's a hard
so
thing.
Hard. What my guilty pleasure would be, this is going to be but I probably love ice cream too much. Like I love sweets in general. So gluttony is a sin, and I'm not to that point, but I love sweets. I love ice cream. So guilty pleasure is maybe eating too much of that at times.
Hey, that's a good one. That's not a bad one to have. Do you have a weird habit or any habit in general?
Do I have a weird habit? So I'm a complete type A personality.
Okay.
I don't want to say OCD, but I love things in order. And so I'm one, like, if things are not in order, I put them back in order. My closet is color coded.
I believe that. I could see that. You're always put together though, so well.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you saying that on that side. But yes, that's one thing that I'm very much straight arrow when it comes to that.
You're like, my type A. Yeah, is my habit. Do you have a favorite condiment that you use in excess? Whether it's mustard, mayonnaise, ranch, anything weird?
Love ranch, love mayonnaise. Not really much on mustard. I like ketchup, but I love Thousand Island. I'm a Thousand Island girl with my salad. So
okay,
if you have that dressing, that's what I'm going to get. Love it.
There you go. What's something you wish you were better at?
I wish I was better at probably not controlling everything, kind of relinquishing and just letting go. So maybe at times, like I wish I maybe had a type B personality and kind of just let things go, because at times it can kind of get to you when you're not in control of everything. And so that would be something.
It's a hard one. That's a hard one to give up though. Like, oh, yeah. When you're type A especially, it's hard. Do you have a hidden talent?
Ooh, oh my gosh, I'm going to sound so boring to these listeners or these watchers. My hidden talent, no, I love volleyball. I've played it my whole entire life. My dad was a coach. I grew up with it. So hidden talent, I mean, I still play on a women's rec league. If that's talent, this is going to blur into a fun fact. So I'm going to like pivot a hot second, and that could be a
go ahead.
question. I love when things are laminated. So I love to laminate. And you may be like, Erin, that is so incredibly crazy. I don't know why, Kirby, but like I was gifted a lamination machine.
Wait, we need to dig into this a little more. Like when you say things are laminated, like what do you like?
So I'll give you a scenario. No, everything is not like I have papers here. They're not laminated.
Okay. I was like, oh my gosh.
I laminated my business cards when I first got them because I was very proud of that. That was kind of my
Yeah.
first career move. You feel
Hmm.
encouraged, empowered, whatnot. Well, I laminated a few of them. And so I kind of kept them because I knew, people have business cards in their pockets, their jeans, or the, material starts to rub off anyway. So fast forward, I did this and forgot that I had laminated them. They were in my bag. Well, our team, we go to Boot Barn. We're meeting with their team. And at the time, Jim, who was their previous CEO, was in the room, and we all are giving our business cards around. So I'm the only one in marketing there. All our other GMs and VPs are there with me, or I'm with them. And I kind of hand my business card to him, and we continue the meeting. And he just stops, and he looks up. He goes, "You laminated your business card." And I didn't know to be mortified or honored. Like I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, I didn't know him from Adam. He didn't know me.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting like this little girl with, this meeting happening. I'm like, yes. He's like, wow. I can say I've never had seen that before. So anyway, kind of
Yeah.
derail a little bit. Lamination. I love when things are laminated because it shows importance, I guess. And I
Yeah.
like that. So
That is so funny. And you were gifted an elimination machine. It's
yeah,
it's the little things in life that just really get you happy, right? Why
maybe
not?
that's that. I don't know, Kirby, how to look at it, but yes.
That is funny. Do you have a favorite part of the day and then a least favorite part of the day?
Well, I do enjoy my mornings. I
Okay.
think like that's how you start your day off. So depending
Hmm.
on your routine, like that really kind of sets your mood and your day mode, I guess. Obviously, everyone loves like you finally get to go to bed, like having a long
Yeah.
day. But I think the mornings where you're fresh, renewed, that's kind of like my time from a prayer, from a devotional standpoint, reading
Yeah.
God's word, knowing what's he calling me to do, or what do I need to be doing a little bit better of. And I just think that's something that helps me kind of get through. We all go through good and bad days, but that's
Yeah.
something that I kind of lean on from a strength perspective, and it kind of helps my day get in motion in a good way.
I like that a lot. Um, Something that makes you laugh, whether it's a person, a thing, a show, a
Something that
reel.
laugh. Yeah, I mean, with my family, I'm a big family person, and so being around my parents or my brother or extended family, that just gives me great joy. And I think
Yeah.
just being in their presence, talking, sharing memories, whatever that may be. I'm a big comedy person when it comes to shows. I love, the chick flicks, the comedies. I'm not necessarily like a horror, scary movie
Yeah,
watcher.
no, me
So
either.
I love anything make me laugh, anything like that. So I'm pretty simple. I'm like vanilla, Kirby.
Right.
I'm
Hey,
vanilla.
hey, what? Vanilla's great. Everybody likes vanilla, right? You could add things to it if you want. You could subtract and you could just eat vanilla on its own. So I think vanilla is good. One thing people might be surprised to know about you. I think obviously it's the lamination machine for sure, but like,
Yes. So kind of dovetailing a little bit, I'm a huge Kentucky Wildcat fan. So in our family, we
oh,
have a couple different teams we all cheer for. Being from Ohio, it's kind of like
yeah,
our
I'm like, that's very interesting.
yeah,
You're
Ohio
kind of like
State
a trader,
football.
right?
I know, don't tell too many people, but I do cheer for Ohio State football. My dad's
Oh,
an alum there. My brother is a big Wisconsin Badgers
oh,
fan. And then my mom and I really cheer for UK, and so my mom's side of the family, they're from Kentucky, and anyone that knows basketball, Kentucky's kind of been in the SEC, something that
yeah.
in the past was up. We're in a rebuilding stage. But yeah, I'm a huge UK fan and loyal to them. I know they're going through some hard seasons right now, but
Spoken
yeah,
like a true fan right there too. Like
yeah,
we're in the rebuilding phase.
yeah, it's a little difficult. But I love sports in general, and I enjoy the camaraderie on all of that. So I do get kind of picked on at times a little bit for cheering for them up here. But yes, I bleed blue, as I like
But
to
I was
say.
just gonna say, I mean, you mentioned already you cheer for Ohio State when it's football season, and I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
they're pretty easy to cheer for because they're so good. So, or they're
yes,
typically pretty good.
yes, they are. They are. Can't take it away from them.
Nope, you can't. If you could participate on one reality TV series, what series would that be?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I have a couple. I thought of this question because
Ooh,
I
okay.
actually ask our athletes this. So you're giving me ideas to ask our team. I love The Amazing Race. I
Ooh,
love
yeah.
that. I just all around the components of that show, mental and physical, and just how they kind of go through, from a world standpoint, travel.
Yep.
I love that. I would people well, I'm not like Survivor level, but yeah, Amazing Race. I'll put that there. I do think it would be neat to be on like the HGTV, like Dream Makeover Home Edition, or something like Magnolia, or to meet
Yeah.
Joanna Gaines. I think that would be really, really cool. Like if they actually designed a house for you,
Yep.
it would be kind of cool. And then I've giggled because from the Western standpoint, like Farmer Wants a Wife, and
Uh-huh.
I've kind of thought like, you know what? I wonder if there's something there. We could like get some boots on some people, so not necessarily me, but maybe Durango could be
Yeah.
with some of the farmers. But
It's not a
yeah,
bad idea.
yeah,
Actually, that's a good idea. You guys should.
yep, yep.
I like that. Amazing Race seems so cool to me. Survivor, I would like it for like a personal push. I don't know how well I would do, but I think it would be an interesting like personal like test. You know what I mean? To see like, okay, how far could I like really push myself to like adapt in this environment?
Yes,
But
yeah.
again, I don't know. Um, if you could be an animal for a day, this one's kind of, quirky. I'll use that word. But if you could be an animal for a day, what animal would it be?
A dolphin.
Oh, that's
I have
sweet.
loved dolphins my entire life. And so that's been some, I don't know why I had an
And
affinity.
everyone loves dolphins. Like, like no one's scared of them when they're, out in the ocean.
No, no,
Oh,
to see them, or like their babies and when they're jumping out of the water and everything. So yeah, a dolphin. So I don't know if that speaks to my personality. I don't know how they actually
hey,
are,
that's
but
not very vanilla. I'm sorry. Like, you could have just went with a Labrador Retriever, and I'd be like, okay, type A. Everyone loves a lab though too. But yeah,
yep,
a dolphin.
yep, yep.
If you had a sandwich named after you, what would be on it and what would it be called? Which I guess it's named after you, but you could give it a fun name too.
So what would it be, and then what would it be called?
Yes.
Um, it
You
would be
should. Oh,
called
I'm like, you should be call it the DeLong.
the DeLong. Oh, I like that, Kirby. I
We
didn't even
should
think.
pitch that to Subway.
You should. Okay,
Sorry. Okay. Yeah.
talk after this call. I
Yeah.
might get some royalties out of that.
Exactly.
I love that. So, oh my gosh, one thing I've recently loved, actually, it's not a sandwich, maybe it's more of a breakfast item, but it's kind of a sandwich, is sourdough bread. I love sourdough bread with peanut butter and banana and honey.
Wait, I love that. I
And
toast mine. I
yes,
just,
I toast mine too. Okay.
okay. Yep.
Yes. For breakfast, it's a good like protein, and it has all
Hmm.
of the, pretty good nutrients in it. So I love that. I'm a big turkey girl.
Okay.
I'm not a ham. I love turkey. So maybe it'd be like turkey, or with provolone and mayonnaise and hummus. Love hummus.
Ooh,
And
yum.
more than
Yeah.
likely, it could be a wrap too. So I'm showing you a breakfast and then a lunch sandwich.
You're like,
Um,
here, we just got a whole menu lined up. It's perfect.
and it's, yeah, the DeLong. But I will say that if my initials spell end, so the end would be the sandwich. The END. Erin Nicole DeLong. So there you go.
Yeah. I like that. That was good. That's a good one. If you could only watch one movie for the rest of your life, what movie would it be?
It would be To Kill a Mockingbird with Gregory Peck. And this is going to speak to probably my old soul side. Growing up, my parents, they involved my brother and I in a lot of like older cinematic movies or TV shows,
That's fun.
like the Andy Griffith Show and things like that. Like growing up, and nowadays it'd be like, that is so not taboo, but just no one watches that. Well, we grew up like watching that on TV Land and stuff.
Yeah.
But To Kill a Mockingbird, absolutely one of my favorite books and movies of all times. I actually just watched it not too long ago, and has a great plot, a great storyline. Just really love kind of that time period in the world. Very very
Yeah.
simple, and just has a really good message. And then the other one would be The Help. You're seeing like this common denominator theme
Oh,
here.
The
I love
Help.
The Help. I
Did
do.
you like the book as well, or did
So
you
far,
read the book?
I didn't read the book. I've only
Okay.
watched the movie. It's on my list.
I
So
well, this sounds bad, and I'm sure the book is I did read the book, but I actually just like the movie more. And I don't know if it's because you got to see like the acts like act out like visually, but I'm a visual person. So, but
Yeah.
I'm like the book is good, but if you already love the movie, you don't really need to read the book.
Well,
Like
I
it's fine.
still might because I know at times like think of the Twilight series, they don't show everything that was
Yeah,
in the
they
book,
don't.
so it's probably good to read it. But I love The Help.
Yeah.
That's such a good movie.
It is such, it really is. And everyone does such a good job in that movie. I forget about that movie sometimes. I'm
Kirby,
like, oh,
if I have one more
yeah.
movie, because I can speak to this, would probably also be Secretariat.
Oh,
Such a good movie. Such a good
I haven't
movie and
seen that in
storyline.
forever.
Yes, yeah. And then I actually got to go to the Derby a couple years ago, and that
Oh,
was
how
Secretariat's
fun.
50th anniversary of winning the Derby and the Triple Crown. And they
Yeah.
kind of did a really cool storyline and kind of a feature museum of him. Just that's incredible. That whole entire lineage with Penny Chinnery, and so it's yeah,
Wait,
love
so
that.
what did you think of the Derby this year? Did you watch it this year with
Oh
the,
my gosh, the
yeah.
first female trainer, and you know what was so cool is the girl that was interviewing her, her name escapes me, was kind of like well in advance of the day, said, interviewing Cherie and talking, and she's like, well, as the first trainer, you could be the first, Derby winner and all of this stuff. Like, she kind of spoke it into existence.
Yeah.
And then lo and behold, it happened. Incredible. And she was a barrel racer.
Okay, I just read that recently, or I just saw that like a couple of days ago. I didn't know that. And I was like, how cool. I did the
Mhm.
whole moment when they like, after the race is over and just when you get to see the video on them of like winning or whether it's the owners or the trainer or any the jockey's family, I don't know, it's always so special. It makes you just feel like you're a part of it. I don't know, I
Yeah.
always love watching that. I'm like, look
Yes.
at all their hard work paid off. They're so excited, as they should be. It's so cool.
Well, and I think what was neat is the aerial view of that track, his run of Golden Tempo, like all the way dead last, like not even in the line of sight until like kind of midway, and then he made his way right up, and that reminds me of a few years before that. If you remember, there was a horse that won Rich Strike, and it was an
Mhm.
80 to 1 odd. Like, I mean, you put money on that horse, you're probably sitting high on the hog now. And how the same thing happened to him was like not even really thought of, right? Like one of the
Yeah.
main ones, and then like just to see their path. And I think that's such a cool, not underdog story, but this comeback and showing like it doesn't matter. And this is a career advice maybe to young girls as well. Like, don't limit yourself. Like, God can do anything, and you may think, oh, I'm right here. Well, you can be advanced in a different way. And so that was neat for me to see and kind of correlate the two. Like, wow,
I like that.
they got to really make their mark in a way that no one thought, right? Like,
Yep.
it was just, I loved it.
It always goes with the saying, it's not always how you start the race, right? But finish it. It's just always one of those. And yeah, that was so, so cool. Um, okay, this is the last one for the break the ice. Has there been a really distinct moment of pride for you, whether it is personal or professional?
Distinct pride in a good way.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Like, yeah,
Um,
pride in a good way. Like, just a distinct moment where you were like, man, I'm really proud of myself for like doing that or accomplishing that or I don't know,
okay.
handling that situation or whatever.
Yes. Well, I will say one of the proud moments for the team, and I want to say that from an
Yeah.
organic standpoint, not just myself, but I was really excited when we launched National Day of the Cowgirl. And so that was, again, a few years ago, back in 21, we kind of started that, seized that opportunity, and to watch where it's grown today. Now we have a scholarship component with that holiday that we give $30,000 to every year. Get to really, highlight an amazing young woman that's going to do incredible things in the Western industry. And then to see everyone celebrate that day, to know like we were the ones, kind of the pioneers behind that idea. Like
Yeah.
Lainey Wilson, I keep going back to her, but she has a Cowgirl of the Night at her shows that I know at least last year on that day, like she was kind of like talking about that. Well, here today's National Day of the Cowgirl, and she'd bring someone on stage. So I think I'm really proud of that as a team for us to
Yeah.
kind of like have the forethought of that and to chase after it, and then to see what it's doing today is pretty darn cool.
Yeah. And I think it's good that you keep going back to Lainey Wilson. I think she's such an encourager of females in whatever space they're in, but especially like this Western space. And I recently just saw her perform at Houston, and she just speaks like such kind words over the crowd, but especially to young like little girls. I thought that was neat. She's always just like, chase your dreams, like you can do it, like don't give up. And I was just like, I don't know, that's neat for little girls to hear someone like that and have that example. I think with such a platform, be able to just be like, keep going. I thought, yeah, she was cool. Okay, this game's called These Boots Were Made For. So I'm going to describe a scenario, and you're going to tell me what you would pick as the ideal boot or outfit for it and elaborate on why.
Okay.
You have a rodeo banquet at 7 and chores at 5.
Oh, gosh. So what boots I'm going to wear?
Yeah. Well, you could do the whole outfit too, but definitely what boots you're going to put on.
Well, okay, so the rodeo banquet that I'm probably going to wear, our new Arena Elite collection is dynamic. It's beautiful. It has cutter toes, which is something for women that we're starting to introduce. It has some fun color pops. It just goes with really anything, especially with a lot of like fun pants that you can wear with it. So that's been doing really well. So I'd probably wear that with some bell bottoms, with a belt and a belt buckle, with a fringe scarf, probably one of like I'm trying to think if I have rodeo Quincy shirt or something, and kind of jazz it up at the top, but our Arena Elite collection for the rodeo banquet. And then for chores, I would probably be wearing what Lisa Lockhart wears, is our Lady Rebel Pro. That's an all rubber boot, just kind of nice pull on. It's really nice, square toe, ton of room, but very comfortable, that if you get muck and stuff on it, you can still wipe it off. It's not that big of a deal to kind of get them in the ruins or in the muck. And then probably shotgunning my jeans and tucking my jeans in the boots and just throwing on a sweatshirt or something.
Okay, I know you've done this one like tons of times, but you're walking 10 miles at a trade show. What pair of boots are you wearing?
Yes, I would probably be wearing probably both, either the Arena Elite again or the Rebel Pro. I will say though, the Arena Elites are leather bottom, and then our Lady Rebel Pros are rubber. So people have their own pick on their outsoles. Rubber does wear a little bit better, so I probably would be wearing those. And then a nuance, Kirby, talking about walking, some of our product has a rocker heel, which means as you're walking, it's a natural heel strike, so you're actually not wearing down the heel on your boot. And then
nice.
That impacts. So orthotically, our product teams comes from an orthotic background. Some of the stuff you actually feel like after 10 hours walking at Cowboy Christmas, you feel okay. So that stuff, actually it does help in the long run, that people don't realize when they buy boots, like buy it so you can wear it forever.
Yeah, definitely. You are going to the state fair and it's 105 degrees outside.
Well, depending on how long I'm walking, we do have some shorty booties in our crush line. So that way, so my actual foot or my whole entire shaft of my leg is not going to be swelling and burning. Yeah. So I'm a booty wearer, just where it's a little less on the leg, and then probably shorts or a skirt or a dress, with my hair up more than likely. Yeah, because it's going to be hot. I will say we have a couple boots that actually have a perforated shaft though. So
really?
So it's air conditioned. That's how we market it. Yeah.
Well, that's nice. Mm-hmm. That's really nice.
Yeah.
You're hauling hay, but you still need a decent Instagram photo.
Oh, I'm hauling hay, but still need a decent Instagram photo. Well, it depends on the angle. Are you going to do just the feet, or is it like waist up?
Yeah, you're like, wait, what's this Instagram post? Or we just, feet up, hauling hay? Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be whatever you want it to be.
Oh, my goodness. Well, heck, I'll probably be wearing our Lady Rebel. That's another collection that's been doing well for us for eons. People know our flag boot, and that's been kind of our bread and butter for the line. So I'll probably be wearing those again, and just jeans and some kind of shirt that's comfortable depending on the weather. But Lady Rebel has been something for us that a lot of young cowgirls love. You can pull it on. It's about 10 inches in height, not up your leg, and comfortable.
I like that one. Okay, we are running out of time, but I have a few more things I want to ask you. This is Western wisdom or social media caption. I'll read some quotes and you guess if they're an old school Western saying or a modern influencer caption. Leave a little dust wherever you go.
I want to say that's old school. Is it modern?
I thought so as well, but I guess it's influencer.
Oh, okay.
I know. confidence starts with the right boot.
Oh, I love that. Okay, what were my 3 choices again?
It's old school Western saying or a modern influencer caption.
Okay, only 2. I want to say that's old school.
It is. You're right.
Yes.
Yep. If the cows are out, so are my plans.
Ooh. Is that old school?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Faith, family, and a full diesel tank.
That's modern influencer.
Yep.
I like it. I like these. I'm going to have to take these.
Yeah, absolutely. Work speaks louder than branding.
Old school.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, we are out of time, but before we wrap up, Erin, again, thank you. I know you're so busy and you just have been such a staple. I mean, you were a part of the first class for like Cowgirl 30 under 30. You and I both were.
I think the second.
Were you the second?
I was 21. Were you 20? 2020?
I don't remember. No. I mean, all I know is I was the oldest. Like I was capped out at 30. So I was like, oh, they needed some 30-year-olds. So they're like, here we go. Kirby's 30.
You know what? I'm not dating ourselves, but I was right there with you. We might have been the same class then, but 21, because I remember we had done
remember.
the tailgate stage together, and then we did the little runway.
Yeah, I know. I don't remember what year, but again, I mean, I know that you've been able to be recognized for your hard work and your contributions to this industry. But I personally want to say thank you because you have been such a staple. A lot of people look up to you in this industry, whether you know that or not. You really are making a mark, and people recognize that, but they also, they take notes. They take notes, and you just are just an inspiration to so many women. And so I always like to say this before we get off. If you had a diary, because, this is Dirt Diaries, and you could write a note for your future self to read. Okay. So, about any of your accomplishments or anything you've done, it doesn't have to be accomplishments, just your journey in this life. What would you want that note to say?
It'd be probably a novel, but, and I'm pretty wordy, but it would say, continue to give God glory. Continue to let your light shine. Because, I think utilizing your talents, one for his glory, but also to better the Western industry. And you always want to leave it better than you found it. So how do you propel that? And I think it would be just like, keep going. Keep going. I know roadblocks are going to happen or change is going to occur, but continue to run the race that's set before you. Because I think our reward is a lot more greater than what we think. And so I think that'd be just encouragement, empowerment, and just keep doing what you're doing.
That's awesome. I like that. Hey, and I feel like you are full of you have like a good word bank. So if you did ever write like a novel, I would totally read that. So, just something there. Yeah. Yay. I would love that. Well, thank you so much again, Dirt Diaries, getting dirty and down with Erin DeLong, and just really appreciate you and everything that you're doing for our industry. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Kirby.
That's it for today's episode of Dirt Diaries, where the women of ag leave no story untold. If you loved what you heard, be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with someone else. Until next time, keep showing up, speaking out, and getting your hands dirty.